welcome to the channel. In this video is my early 2026-27 Premier League prediction, where I personally think each of the 20 Premier League clubs are going to finish at the end of the 2026-27 season, and where I personally play some of the big teams at Tottenham Hotspur, Man United, Arsenal. Can they defend their trophy? Man City, Chelsea? Well, Tottenham Hotspur have been 17 for 2 consecutive seasons, so probably there's something knocking on their door. So in this video, I'm going to predict the winner, the top 4, and probably the 3 teams that will be relegated to the championship at the end of the 2026-27 season. So without wasting much of your time, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts at the comment section. Let's get started. Starting off with the relegation from 20th, 19th, and 18th position. 3 teams that I personally think by the end of the season they will be relegated back to the championship. Coming in at 20th position is Hull City. Looking at how they managed to get into the Premier League, they won the playoff, they finished 6th in the championship. They didn't have the quality to even win the championship. So I think the Premier League will be very tough and difficult for them. And going to this season, looking at their new promoted side, it's going to be difficult. Normally, teams who get promoted don't have the budget to compete with the big boys. That's why last season we have the likes of Leeds United, Sunderland. They did good business in the transfer window, and at the end of the season they were able to survive. Looking at Sunderland, they are doing wonders in the Premier League. But well, talking about Hull City, this season I think they will struggle a lot, and my 20th club is no other than Hull City. Moving on to the 19th position, club that I personally think will finish at the 19th position at the end of the 2026-27 season is no other than Ipswich Town. Looking at them last season in the championship, they finished 2nd and they got automatic qualification into the Premier League. But well, if you look at the teams in the Premier League with the likes of Sunderland, Bournemouth, Everton, Leeds, there are tough teams in the Premier League, and I don't think Ipswich Town, that's why 2 years ago they were in the Premier League and got relegated back to the championship, and now they are back into the Premier League again. So that's back-to-back qualification for Ipswich Town. But can they survive in the 2026-27 season? Probably. I think they'll go back to the championship. So my 19th club is no other than Ipswich Town. Moving on to the last team that I personally think will be relegated to the championship at the end of the 2026-27 season is no other than Leeds United. I think Leeds United at the end of the season is going to finish 18th on the league table, and they will be relegated to the championship. They're able to survive. They did well. They did better than the likes of Tottenham Hotspur, and I think they are championship standard. And I don't think they may survive. Looking at how good some of these teams are in the Premier League. So going to the end of the season, 2026-27 season, I personally think Leeds United will be demoted back to the championship. 3 teams that will be demoted at the end of the season is going to be Leeds United, Ipswich Town, and Hull City. We are done with the relegation, so let's get to clubs that I personally think will finish at the mid-table and they will get survival. Coming in at 17th position is no other than Coventry City. I personally think Coventry at the end of the 2026-27 season will finish at 17th position. That's why relegation will be threatening them, but I think with the experience from Frank Lampard, he has been a manager for Chelsea, he has been in the Premier League with experience, went to Coventry and brought them to the Premier League. I think he has done marvelous, and I think they will get survivor. Coming in at 17 is Coventry City. Alright, let's move on. 16th position, I'm predicting Nottingham Forest to finish 16th, Everton to finish 15th, Bournemouth to finish 14th. And the reason why I'm predicting Bournemouth to finish 14th is the reason that this season, despite they have qualified to play in the Europa League, and you know, a lot of games means you're going to struggle a little bit. So I personally think Bournemouth this season will struggle, and even their manager is leaving at the end of this season. So with new manager, with European football in the Premier League at the same time, it's going to be a very difficult season for Bournemouth. So I'm predicting Bournemouth to finish 14th on the league table. Coming in 13th is Crystal Palace. I'm predicting Fulham to also finish 12th on the league table. And the club that will finish 11th on the league table is going to be Sunderland. I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to finish at 10th position. Don't ask me why, because why am I predicting Tottenham Hotspur to finish 10th? Because it's been 2 consecutive seasons that they finished 17th, nearly relegated. So this season, if they don't get their things right, this season they will be relegated to the championship. My prediction for the 2026-27 season, I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to finish 10th. These are my early predictions. Maybe my next prediction video I may change my mind. So depending on the transfer that they'll do, or depending on the kind of players they'll buy, or the kind of team they'll start building, that will determine where I will place them again. So with my early prediction for next season, I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to get 10th position. Moving on, I'm predicting Brighton to also finish 9th on the league table. Brentford will also finish 8th on the league table. And moving on from 9th and 8th, let's get to the European spot. Clubs that will qualify for Europa League, Conference League, and Champions League, and probably the winner. But I'm not talking about the winners yet. So let's get started. Coming in at the Conference League spot is no other than Manchester United. Yeah, I know someone will say because I'm a Chelsea fan, that's why I'm saying this. But sincerely, let's call it spade a spade. Last season, Casemiro was the master brain behind this Manchester United under Michael Carrick. The main engine in the midfield, the reason why Manchester United won some of the games that they didn't even deserve to win was Casemiro. And he is leaving at the end of the season. And then playing the UEFA Champions League, depending on the transfer that they will do, depending on who they will sign. But now I'm predicting Manchester United to finish 7th on the league table at the end of the 2026-27 season. Man United finishing 7th. On to the 6th position on the league table is no other than Newcastle United. Despite they were underwhelming this season, finishing I think 12th is not good enough. But I think because of injuries last season, there were a lot of games for Newcastle United playing the Champions League, playing the Premier League, and you know, the Newcastle United will finish 6th on the Premier League table at the end of the 2025-26 season, based and depending on the kind of business they will do. So I think next season Newcastle will bring in players and they are going to perform and probably finish 6th on the Premier League table at the end of the season. Moving on to the top 5. Now the Premier League teams are so good to the extent that every season, for the past 2 seasons, they always get 5 slots in the UEFA Champions League. So coming in at 5th position could get a Champions League spot, and coming in at the 5th position is no other than Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool this season was underwhelming. Seeing the kind of business they did, they spent a whole lot. Liverpool still under Arne Slot is going to be a difficult season for them. The ups and downs is still there. That's why he won the league in his first season, but I think he's going to struggle, knowing Mohamed Salah too is leaving at the end of this season. So next season is going to be a different game for Liverpool at Anfield and Liverpool in the Premier League. So I'm predicting Liverpool to finish 5th on the league table at the end of the 2026-27 season. The remaining clubs that I think will finish in the top 4 is left with Chelsea, Aston Villa, Man City, and Arsenal. These are the 4 teams left, and who do I think will finish at the 4th position? Looking at my script and looking at what I've written down, with Chelsea bringing in Alonso and looking at Aston Villa under Unai Emery, it's a special team. And last season, just this season, they've won a European trophy, and going into this season, they will be in the Champions League, and it's massive. Looking at their performance last season too on the league table, finishing 4th is good enough. So Aston Villa will finish 4th place going into the new season under Unai Emery. Aston Villa, I'm predicting them to finish at 4th position. Moving on to the 3rd position on the Premier League is no other than Chelsea under Xabi Alonso. I think Alonso Chelsea, despite Chelsea is only playing in the Premier League, looking at them finishing 10th this season, next season, I'm predicting them to finish 3rd on the league table. Looking at Xabi Alonso, he's coming with so much experience at Real Madrid, at Bayer Leverkusen, and now these days, this is a new turner for him to prove that what he did at Leverkusen wasn't just a fluke. But well, looking and believing that Xabi Alonso can turn around things, then I'm predicting Chelsea to finish 3rd at the end of the season, 2026-27 Premier League season. So moving on to the most interesting part of the video, who is going to be the champions for the 2026-27 Premier League season? Looking at the 2 teams remaining, it's left with Arsenal and Manchester City. And looking at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, they are champions of the Premier League this season, and can they defend their title? Looking at Manchester City under Enzo Maresca, after Pep Guardiola winning 6 Premier League trophies with Manchester City, now he has brought in Maresca to replace him at Manchester City. It's going to be a very interesting season, looking at how things will pan out or how things will unfold coming the new season. Mikel Arteta versus Enzo Maresca. We all know Enzo Maresca is a tactician, looking at the wonders he did with Chelsea and now with Enzo Maresca at Man City, looking at the kind of players that he has. They are the favorite to win. That's why Arsenal are defending champions. But I personally think Manchester City is going to be the champion for the 2026-27 season. So looking at the league table, Arsenal will be back at the second position. Let me know what you think in the comment section. My name is Andy Fena. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment your thoughts in the comment section. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.